My name is Dung, and I have just turned 30 years old. I'm single. I have no children, and I don't even have a home to call my own. My life is so simple that many people would probably find it dull. But it's all I have. Every morning, I wake up in my small, familiar room, get myself ready for a new day, and quietly head to the humble eatery where I work as a waitress. The restaurant isn't fancy, and most of the regular customers are hard-working people, living paycheck to paycheck, just like me. Busy all day clearing tables, serving steaming bowls of rice, and responding to hurried calls from customers. I still do my best to greet everyone with a smile. The life of a 30-year-old woman with no family, no possessions, and only a modest income may not seem worth noticing. But in this video, I want to share a very ordinary day in my life, a day with nothing extraordinary, yet one that holds all the little joys, quiet perseverance, and simple dreams that I continue to cherish in silence every single day. At 5 a.m., I wake up in the small rented house that has been my home for quite some time. My bedroom is very simple, with nothing valuable except a few old belongings and a teddy bear that lies beside me every night. I am single and live alone, so that teddy bear has long become my closest companion. There are nights when the loneliness feels so overwhelming that I simply cannot sleep well without it by my side. Before getting out of bed, I gently stretch my body a few times. It is a small but important habit that helps my body gradually adjust to movement after a long night's sleep. Please don't judge my hair or my appearance. My bathroom is quite small, but it's very practical and convenient. My hair isn't in the best condition, perhaps because of the water quality. I only use shampoo and conditioner and don't use any hair treatments or special hair care products. To make my work easier, I always tie my hair up in a bun and almost never wear it down when I go outside. I also don't know much about makeup or skincare, so my routine is very simple. I usually just wash my face with a facial cleanser and that's all. I always use the cheapest toothpaste I can find, especially the ones that come with free gifts or promotional items. Many people say that I'm too frugal, but I don't think it really matters. After all, I still have a long future ahead of me to worry about. Every little bit of money I save today is something I can rely on tomorrow. Life is unpredictable, and since I have no one to depend on but myself, I try to be careful with every dollar I spend. Before heading to work, I take some time to tidy up and sort through my belongings. My landlord has informed me that they need the house back, and I have only 4 days left before I have to move to a new place. The thought of starting over once again weighs heavily on my heart. Packing and organizing everything is not as easy as I once imagined. Even though I live alone, I have accumulated quite a few belongings over the years. Most of them are old items that I received from charity donations or kind people who gave them to me. They may not be worth much in terms of money, but to me, each one represents a helping hand during some of the most difficult periods of my life. Every day, I pack a little more, carefully putting my belongings into boxers one by one. It not only makes the move easier, but also feels as though I am gently gathering the memories I have made in this place. In the quiet stillness of the early morning, surrounded by half-packed boxers, I remind myself to stay strong. Life has never been easy for me, but I still hope that in 4 days, when I settle into another rented house, I will find a little more peace, comfort, and strength to keep moving forward. I leave home At 6:30 a.m., the distance from my rented house to my workplace is about 2 kilometers. And I usually walk instead of riding a motorbike. It helps me save money on fuel, while also giving me a chance to get some exercise. The morning air is often quiet and refreshing, and those daily walks have become a familiar part of my routine. Day after day, my life follows the same simple pattern, but somehow, there is comfort in that simplicity. At 7 a.m., I arrive at the small local eatery where I work. To be honest, it is not really a restaurant, just a modest food stall that serves affordable meals to people with limited incomes. Most of our customers are hard-working laborers, construction workers spending long hours under the scorching sun, waste collectors, and others doing manual jobs for modest wages. They are a lot like me, ordinary people trying to make a living through honest hard work and the sweat of their own efforts. My workday begins with wiping down every table and chair, clearing away the dust that has settled since the previous day. After that, I sort vegetables, wash them carefully, prepare meat and fish, and get everything ready for lunch service. There is a cook at the restaurant who is responsible for preparing the meals, and my role is to support her with all the small but important tasks: picking vegetables, washing produce, cleaning and preparing meat, setting up pots and pans, lighting the stove, and making sure everything is ready so that the cooking process can go as smoothly and quickly as possible. The meals served here are simple, home-style dishes that are affordable for working people, so each meal costs only about $1.50. To keep prices low, the owner usually buys ingredients from wholesale markets where the prices are much cheaper. Even though the ingredients are inexpensive, they are still fresh, delicious, and carefully selected to ensure good hygiene and food safety. Our goal is to provide hardworking people with a hot, satisfying meal at a price they can afford. Each meal offers a selection of nearly 10 different dishes, giving customers a variety of choices every day. All of the food is cooked over charcoal stoves to help keep operating costs low. Charcoal is much cheaper than gas or electricity, making it a more affordable option for a small eatery like ours. Despite the simple cooking method, the food is prepared with care, and the aroma from the charcoal fire often makes the dishes even more flavorful and comforting. This is one of the 2 dogs that live at the eatery where I work. This one is very friendly. Her name is Lulu, and she always likes to stay close to me whenever I take a break. She follows me around, waits beside me, and never misses a chance to ask for a little attention. The people I work with are very kind and friendly. I have been working here for almost 2 years now, and throughout that time, they have always treated me with warmth and respect. Unlike some people I have met in the past, they never judge me because of my appearance. Instead, they greet me with smiles every day, talk with me, and make me feel like I belong. We help each other with our work, whether it's preparing ingredients, serving customers, or cleaning up after a busy day. When the restaurant gets crowded, everyone works together without complaints, making the long hours feel a little easier. Their kindness has brought comfort to my life during some difficult times, and I am truly grateful to have worked alongside them. Have you ever tried stir-fried shrimp with wild beetle leaves? For me, it is one of the most delicious dishes. The aroma of the beetle leaves blends perfectly with the sweetness of the shrimp, creating a simple yet incredibly flavorful meal. This is crispy fried mackerel, one of the most popular dishes at our eatery. Many customers choose it for their lunch, so it often sells out very quickly because it is so popular. Those who arrive late may find that it has already sold out and have to choose a different dish instead. Some customers even ask about it as soon as they walk in, hoping there will still be a portion left for them. If they're lucky enough to get one, it often becomes the highlight of their lunch. Have you ever tried pork lungs? In my country, this ingredient is quite inexpensive, which is why it is commonly found in small local eateries like the one where I work. Although it may not be as popular as pork belly or beef, many people enjoy it because of its unique texture and affordable price. For hardworking people looking for a filling meal, without spending too much money, dishes made with pork lungs are often a practical choice. At affordable eateries like ours, there always has to be plenty of vegetables. The people who come here work extremely hard. Because of that, they often have a very hearty appetite. Many of them do not earn much money, so they have to be careful with their spending to keep their meals affordable while still filling their stomachs. They often eat plenty of rice and vegetables, with just a small portion of meat or fish. That is why our vegetable trays are always kept full. Sometimes, a hot meal that fills an empty stomach is more than enough. This is the cook who is responsible for preparing all of the meals at our eatery. Once the ingredients have been washed, sorted, and prepared, she begins cooking and works almost continuously throughout the morning. From stir-fried dishes and soups to fried fish and braised meats, every meal is carefully prepared by her hands, while I help by getting everything ready beforehand. She is the one who brings the dishes to life. Watching her move quickly from one stove to another, managing several pots and pans at the same time, is always impressive. Thanks to her hard work and experience, all of the dishes are ready before lunchtime, ensuring that our customers can enjoy a hot, freshly cooked meal when they arrive. There is also a large black dog at the restaurant. Unlike Lulu, his job is to watch over the shop and keep an eye on the entrance. This name is Lala. Before 10 a.m., every dish must be ready. Plates of golden stir-fried pork, freshly fried fish, and steaming pots of soup are arranged neatly at the serving counter. Just a few minutes later, customers begin to arrive. Some choose to eat at the restaurant, while others buy meals to take home. I stay busy moving from table to table, serving rice, clearing dishes, and preparing extra soup and fish sauce for takeaway orders. As I watch construction workers in clothes covered with cement dust enjoying a hot meal after hours of hard work, I often feel that my job has its own special meaning. I may not earn much money, and my life may not be the kind that people dream about, but at least, each day, I play a small part in making sure hardworking people can enjoy a warm meal amid the struggles of everyday life. When the last customer left, the eatery fell silent once more. The chef and I worked side by side, washing towering stacks of dishes, tidying up the kitchen, and getting everything ready for the next day. My life may be so ordinary that most people would never notice it. But to me, being able to wake up each morning, go to work, watch hardworking people enjoy a warm and filling meal, and return home safely at the end of the day are blessings worth cherishing. At 6 p.m., I wrapped up a long day of work. The sky still held a faint trace of twilight and hadn't yet gone completely dark. Feeling quite tired, I decided to stop by a nearby market to find something for dinner. The afternoon market is always bustling and lively. The sounds of buying, selling, and passing traffic mingle with the enticing aromas of various dishes, imbuing the place with a constant sense of vitality. Amidst the myriad colorful stalls, there is one thing that always makes me pause and admire: the woven bamboo baskets and trays. They are crafted entirely by hand. I often find myself wondering about the artisans who patiently spent hours or even days creating such beautiful objects. There is a wide variety of food on display here, all laid out openly for customers to choose from. The dishes are not covered by glass cases or protective containers, which sometimes makes me wonder whether they are exposed to dust from the surrounding environment. This market is quite large, and you can find almost everything here. Unlike supermarkets or shopping malls, where products are neatly arranged on shelves and displayed in a highly organized way, this market has a much more traditional and bustling atmosphere. Food, household goods, fruits, vegetables, and countless other items are often displayed on the ground, on simple tables, or on large makeshift stalls. At first glance, it may seem crowded and a little chaotic, but that is part of its charm. Because operating costs are lower and there are fewer middlemen involved, the prices here are often much cheaper than those in supermarkets. For people with limited incomes, markets like this are an important part of daily life, offering affordable food and necessities while helping them stretch every dollar a little further.
Con ăn ở đây nhá. Con ăn hai cái bánh gối này với một cái bánh khoai.
My dinner today was simply 2 savory fried turnovers and a piping hot sweet potato fritter, fresh out of the fryer. The whole meal costs only about 50 cents, quite a bargain, isn't it? I sat in a corner of the small market, slowly savoring each bite, while the steam still rose in swirls. It wasn't a fancy meal, but for me, it was enough to warm my hungry belly after a hard day's work. Pillow cake has a crispy outer shell made from wheat flour dough. Inside, the filling typically consists of wood ear mushrooms, glass noodles, minced pork, and a quail egg. The filling is actually quite similar to that of a traditional steamed bun. Normally, if there is any leftover food at the eatery where I work, I take it home for dinner. It helps me save a little money, and every small saving matters. But today, every dish sold out completely. I was happy for the restaurant because it had been a good day for business, even though it meant I had to buy my own dinner. My life has always been very simple. I try to spend only about $1 a day on my personal needs. Many people might think that amount is far too little to live on, but I constantly remind myself to be careful with money. I have no family to rely on, and I do not know what the future holds for me. That is why every small coin I save today represents a little hope for the years ahead, especially when I grow old. As the market lights began to shine and the crowds thinned out, I paid for my meal, stood up, and started walking home. At 7 p.m., I returned to my small rented house. After a long day of work, the sky had turned completely dark, and streetlights began to cast their glow onto the familiar little alley. The first thing to greet me wasn't a loved one or a hot meal, but the dogs and cats eagerly running toward me. They wagged their tails and nuzzled against my legs, as if they had been waiting for me for a long time. Those familiar, lively sounds made the otherwise quiet house feel so much warmer. I quickly opened the door and turned on all the lights in the house. I've never liked the dark. After spending the entire day outside, there is something comforting about coming home to a brightly lit space. The warm light instantly makes the house feel more welcoming and less lonely, as if it is quietly greeting me after a long day. I quickly prepared a meal for them. It was nothing special, just a simple meal, but my dogs and cats were still incredibly excited and happy. They gathered around eagerly, their eyes full of anticipation, as if I were serving them the most delicious feast in the world. As I watched them eat so happily, I felt a sense of joy that is difficult to describe. In those quiet moments, all the stress and exhaustion of the day seemed to disappear. There are some small pleasures in life that money can never buy, and for me, this is one of them. Seeing my beloved animals healthy, content, and enjoying their meal brings a warmth to my heart that no amount of wealth could ever replace. That is also why I always try to rent a house with a yard, instead of living in a cramped rental room. Even though I am not well off, I still want my animals to have plenty of space to run, play, and enjoy life. They have brought me so much joy, so I want to give them the best life within my means. After feeding them, I took a shower to wash away the dust, sweat, and heat of the long day. The cool water made my body feel a little lighter. My work during the day is quite grueling, often involving standing by a hot stove or rushing back and forth to serve customers, so by the time I get home, I have almost no energy left for anything else. I don't have the habit of scrolling through my phone or staying up late like many people do. To me, a small bed and a good night's sleep are more precious than anything else. Once everything has quieted down and the dogs and cats have settled into their usual spots, I turn off the lights, pull up the covers, and close my eyes.